you cannot do two things at the same time. You cannot sing and judge at the same time. You cannot judge yourself. And in the West, we are very judgmental. Whatever we do, we are thinking, oh, what other people think about me? What am I thinking about myself? You know, we are very harsh on ourselves.
Welcome to This Week at the NCPA. Spectacular stuff lined up for you in the autumn season. The SOI Autumn 2024 season will be conducted by Maestro Zubin Mehta. It's out there, and we're putting it out there again, and we're extremely proud to have Chen Reiss, who is the foremost soprano of our generation, somebody who Maestro Zubin Mehta really believes in. Adelina Hassani the other day was saying such vibrant things about her, and Dr. Anjan Ray, who is a scholar in Western classical music, also had many vibrant things to say about her. Hi, I've heard so much about you, I feel I know you. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me and for this wonderful introduction.
Ken, we're very excited to have you in India as part of the SOI Autumn 2024 season. This is at the Jamshed Baba Theatre. Will this be your first ever trip to India? Have you been here before?
No, I've not been to India. It's my first trip. I'm really very, very excited, and I'm very excited that it's with Zubin, who I know for many years and always spoke with so much love and warmth about India.
Indeed, Johann Strauss II's enchanting music is something that has many, many followers around the world. And you are acclaimed to be one of the most perfect Strauss voices one could wish for. And that's not me. That's many publications who've said that. What is it that draws you to Strauss's music?
I've always loved the Viennese style. Yeah, a lot of Viennese composers like Mozart and Beethoven, Johann Strauss, Richard Strauss, Gustav Mahler, are permanently in my repertoire. I adore their music from a very young age, and I lived in Vienna for many years. So I actually consider Vienna my second homeland, and whenever I go there, I try to go a few times a year to sing either at the opera or at the Musikverein. You feel like you are in a holy place, really the capital world, the capital city of classical music. Everywhere you go, you hear classical music. You see plaques on the wall, here lived Mozart, here lived Beethoven. You go in the park, you see statues of Johann Strauss. And especially the music of Johann Strauss has everything that is Vienna to me. It has the elegance. It has, at the same time, lightness to it, humor. It's really fun, and the public absolutely adores it. And I think that is going to be absolutely brilliant to perform it in India.
And Maestro Mehta himself has a very profound understanding of Strauss, doesn't he? I'd like you to talk about that.
Absolutely. I mean, I have to admit that I learned from Maestro Mehta more than from anybody else. So my debut in Mozart roles was with Zubin. My debut with Johann Strauss music. My first encounter with Johann Strauss music was with Zubin in Fledermaus, and later on the Frühlingsstimme Walzer. So I really consider myself very lucky that the first time I ever sang this music was with the most admired authority in the world for it. And the first time we performed this program was actually with the Vienna Philharmonic. So who can ask for more? An orchestra that it's in their DNA to play this music. Because this music is not straightforward, it requires a lot of flexibility from the conductor, from the singer, and from the orchestra. So as a singer, you want a conductor like Zubin who breathes with you, who leads you, who carries you. the music is very colorful and very playful. Yeah, it's not just about technique. It's not just coloraturas to show the voice. No, we are really communicating emotions and a lot of fun as well. So you need someone who is really aware of the Viennese tradition.
Just like you talked about Maestro Zubin Mehta teaching you so much, I know that you yourself really believe in promoting young talent. You've supported and promoted young musicians through your association, through a voice academy. What is it that you tell all budding sopranos? What is the bit of advice that you give them?
Okay, so the most important thing is the breath. If you take care of the breath, it's 80% of the job is done. And I tell them something which I think you in India would relate to very much, because I often compare singing to yoga. I really love doing yoga. For me, it was a revelation when I discovered it, because the thing about yoga is not just a workout. Yeah, if you want to work out, then go run in the gym or lift weights. But yoga is probably 50% body, right? The physical aspect, the awareness in the body, but 50% the mental aspect, the head, what the head is telling you. And I really believe it is also like this in singing. When you sing on stage, when you are in front of the public, absolutely. And also when you practice. So I tell them, you cannot do two things at the same time. You cannot sing and judge at the same time. You cannot judge yourself. And in the West, we are very judgmental. Whatever we do, we are thinking, oh, what other people think about me? What am I thinking about myself? We are very harsh on ourselves. And this is, in my opinion, not the best attitude for making progress. So I always tell them, like in yoga, you have to connect with your breath. You cannot sing a single sound. You cannot make a single movement if it's not, first of all, initiated and supported by the breath, like in yoga. And then when you do it, you have to be in the moment, in the music, in the breath, in the flow. You cannot at the same time judge the sound that came out of your mouth.
Wow. Western classical music has such a deep connection with Eastern philosophy and spirituality. So beautifully put. Thank you very much. We'd like to tell everybody who's watching or listening, this is an NCPA and Mehli Mehta Music Foundation presentation. And the Symphony Orchestra of India's patron is City India. Dates for you people: Saturday the 17th and Sunday the 18th of August, 6 p.m. onwards at the Jamshed Baba Theatre, conducted by Maestro Zubin Mehta. Chen Reiss is soprano. It's an evening of music by Johann Strauss II. Tickets are live now at Book My Show, as well as at the auditorium, as well as the facility, the National Centre of the Performing Arts. So what can one expect on these wonderful evenings? I hope I get the pronunciation right. Please correct me. I believe you will be singing Frühlingsstimmen?
Yes.
Close enough.
So yes, Frühlingsstimmen Balsa, which everybody knows, right? It's really, really, really famous. It's very, very famous. We are in the summer, in the heights of the summer, but why not think about the blooming, the world around us? We are in India, where there's so much color around. So I think that they're going to absolutely enjoy it. And then I'm going to sing the Czardas, the very famous Czardas from Johann Strauss's probably most famous operetta, Die Fledermaus. And I love this Czardas because I was born in Israel, but I also have Hungarian nationality. So I have a double citizenship. And in the Czardas, Rosalinde pretending to be a Hungarian princess, because she's in a masked ball and she's there to basically catch her husband. Her husband is not supposed to be there. He's there flirting with other women. So she appears not only masked, but also singing this bravura aria, pretending to be Hungarian. This is in the program, and we also have a few surprises which are not in the program, but I won't tell them.
So you're going to keep the surprise a surprise.
Yes.
Wonderful. We look forward to that. I wonder if you've managed to catch the Symphony Orchestra of India when they were touring Europe. If you haven't caught the Symphony Orchestra of India, what have you heard about them? And it must be very pleasing for you that something like this exists in India.
Yes, it's incredible, and actually, I must say humbly that I feel honored that people in India want to hear classical music, because I know that you have such an amazing tradition of your music. And I did not get to hear them in Europe yet, but Zubin spoke very highly of them, and I completely trust him. So I'm sure that it's going to be brilliant.
Also, we're really looking forward to you seeing the facility at the National Center of the Performing Arts, especially the Jamshed Baba, where you shall be performing. It's a very grand, beautiful theatre. I wonder if you've seen some pictures, or if Maestro Mehta sent you some pictures.
I've seen pictures, and I have to say that you guys should be very proud, because you have better facilities than we in London. I originally live in London, and the facilities in India we don't have such a beautiful concert hall in London, I have to say.
Lovely. Just an add-on, we told you about the 17th and 18th August. Also, Saturday the 24th and Sunday the 25th at 6 p.m. at the Jamshed Baba Theatre, Maestro Zubin Mehta returns to conduct with Krasimira Stoyanova as soprano. It's the other Strauss, an evening of music by Richard Strauss, or Richard Strauss, like lots of people call him. I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much, and wonderful to not only talk to you, but waiting eagerly to see you here in India. Chen Reiss.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you.
So that was my first insight into what NCPA is, and it really took me by surprise, because coming from Delhi, I never had a chance to come and visit Mumbai or explore these performance venues. So to see this exist in India and Mumbai made me feel so happy, and I thought, this is it. Like, this is a perfect venue which is comparable to any state-of-the-art venues across the world, like South Bank Centre in London.
Welcome to This Week at the NCPA. This is epic. September the 15th to September the 21st at the National Center of the Performing Arts comes Operalia 2024. Rolex proudly presents the 2024 edition of Operalia in Mumbai. It's on from Sunday, September the 15th to Saturday, September the 21st. Now, there are participants from all over the world in this. The only way to describe it is the only classical or opera singing competition in the world. There are tenors and sopranos and baritones from New Zealand, China, Russia, US, Armenia, Italy, the UK, South Korea, Uzbekistan, Belarus. And of course, we are very, very proud that there is an Indian competing in this particular edition of the Operalia 2024. And that's a major reason for celebration. Darwin Prakash is a man of many, many talents. An Indian baritone, he's been an ensemble member of the Staatsoper at Hanover since the 22-23 season, making important roles as Figaro, La Boheme, Papageno, Chow and Lai in the Nixon story in China. Other performing highlights include the German premiere of Philipp Venabel's Dennis and Katya, Belcourt in Donizetti's L'Elysir de More at the Waterbury Opera Festival, and of course Chow and Lai and Adam's Nixon in China will forever be remembered. Darwin won the National Mozart competition in the UK in 2019 and the Premio Extraordinario at the 2021 Tenor Vinas International competition. He's been the recipient of many, many awards, an alumnus of the George Solti Accademia di Bel Canto and the Glyndebourne Academy, and a former young artist at Opera Holland Park. Hi. Forgive me if I made any pronunciation mistakes.
That's all right. No problem at all.
Darwin, this is spectacular. This is Operalia, heralded by tenor Placido Domingo. How does it feel to be one of the chosen contestants?
Yeah, I'm extremely thrilled, to say the least. I'm thrilled and excited and nervous in equal measure to be part of this competition, because it's a really important competition in our industry, and we're able to put forward the best version of ourselves and hope for the best, basically.
When you found out that Operalia was being held in India for the first time ever, in fact, there's never been a competition that has been held anywhere in South Asia, and that it was coming to the NCPA. What was your instinctive feeling, Darwin?
I felt my stomach drop immediately when I saw the news. I was like, oh God, because competitions in general are extremely stressful situations to be in, and to see it happen in India, and that to Operalia, I was like, God, it's calling out to me. I have to apply for it. So yeah, I decided at that moment. I was like, yes, this is something I want to apply, and I hope that I get into it. And all these feelings went through me, and then I processed everything, put together my application, and I went for it, really.
Beautiful. To anybody who is in opera, the name Placido Domingo immediately means royalty. What does Placido Domingo mean to you? How much have you learned from his career?
Placido Domingo, because I got into operatic singing fairly late, and from that moment, when I started studying singing seriously, I refer to singers like Pavarotti, Domingo, Carreras, the three tenors. They're the top three tenors of the world. At their time, they ruled the world. And we've had baritones like Horostovsky, who passed away in 2017, and a few other singers. I always refer to them and I listen to them, and you get stylistic ideas how to approach this music and how to sing it. And Domingo is a very important figure in the operatic world, and there's always something to learn from these great singers, cumulative, from different people all the time.
I'm just curious to know that you hold a degree in geology at the University of Delhi.
Yes.
And then, from really taking a detour from being a geologist, you suddenly were discovered in 2014 by Dr. Robert Alderson, and then you were admitted to the Royal Academy of Music in London in 2015, where you studied with Mark Wildman. Was that That's really right. the turning point? That's when you decided you had to make opera your life.
Yes, absolutely. Meeting Robert Alderson in Delhi, that was like the key turning point. Like at that point, I had this man who trusted me and suggested that I should take up singing and give it a chance. Give it a year and see how it works out. And then I followed his lead, and I reached Manchester, and I studied with him, and I got admission in Royal Academy of Music with full scholarship, thanks to the generosity of Royal Academy. And Mark Wildman became my teacher, and I was like, all right, I'm doing my master's in music. So when I graduated from master's, at that point I felt like, okay, I think I can. It's safe to say I can leave behind geology now, because I do have a degree in music in some form. So the chase has never stopped, really. The moment the music college opportunity came to me, I had to run with it. And that's what I've been doing since then, really.
Darwin, the jury members of Operalia 2024 are really names to reckon with. These are names that I'm sure you're familiar with. The director of the Dutch National Opera from Amsterdam, Sophie de Lint, will be there. Jonathan Friend, who is an artistic advisor at the Metropolitan Opera in New York. Peter Katona, a director of casting at the Royal Opera House in London. David Lomeli, a chief artistic advisor at the Santa Fe Opera. Caroline Wielputz was the director of artistic planning at the Music Theatre Aan de Wien. And of course, Christina Scheppelman, appointed general and artistic director in Brussels for La Monnaie du Monde. Now, these are all what we call royalty as far as opera music and orchestras are concerned, and they will be watching you as one of the contestants. How does that feel to be judged, to be in front of a jury, a bunch of mentors of the stature of these people?
It's to put in simple words, it is nerve-wracking, because if you look away from the fact, I mean, I'm going to be singing, and the only thing I take onto the stage is myself as a performer, my musicality, my singing, my voice, and the jury is there to judge it as they like, because singing, like any other performance artist, is so subjective. So you have all these incredible people who head different organizations across the world sitting there to judge you. Basically, it's a big judging event, and I'm just going to hope that all the preparation that I do and I prepare when I do sing, I come across as intended or more, and if I think too much about all the people, then it just gets a bit, it takes the joy out of it a little bit, really. So I think the key thing is that I will try and enjoy myself and sing and just have a great time, and try and progress in the rounds.
That's the beautiful thought. Irrespective of who the judges are, I will try and enjoy myself. I know, now that you're an ensemble member of the Staatsoper in Hanover, you will probably spend a lot of time in Germany. The last couple of years must have been a whirlwind. So many important roles on stage. But an Indian can never leave his Indian connections behind. Just your thoughts on NCPA, the National Centre of the Performing Arts, and its immense contribution to Western classical music, to opera, and these forms that really had no place in India, but have slowly been nurtured by the NCPA. Or if you've ever performed there, we'd like some memories of that too, please.
So, in 2017, I don't know if you remember, but I was in Mumbai with Patricia Rosario, the soprano, and she had organized this wonderful opera.
And you were on my show. You were on my show.
I was there. I was in your studio. So, and that was the first time I had an interaction with NCPA and SOI in some form, because the orchestra that played for the opera was SOI, and through that I was able to visit NCPA for our orchestral rehearsals and everything. So that was my first insight into what NCPA is, and it really took me by surprise, because coming from Delhi, I never had a chance to come and visit Mumbai or explore these performance venues. So to see this exist in India and Mumbai made me feel so happy, and I thought, this is it. Like, this is a perfect venue which is comparable to any state-of-the-art venues across the world, like South Bank Centre in London, and anything and everything that I dream to do in Western classical music is possible to do right here. We've got the infrastructure there. I hope it comes up, something similar comes up in Delhi, because we don't have it there. Perhaps there is in Bangalore and Chennai, other major cities also have it, but NCPA stands on top of it all, and hence it's such a sheer pleasure to be able to come back there and have a go at singing, and hopefully meet people and expand my connections and network with people. And I have dreams and visions about Western classical music flourishing in India more so, hopefully, as time goes on. And this seems like an opportune situation to, make the most of.
Darwin is one of the chosen contestants for one of the world's most prestigious opera competitions, Operalia, heralded by tenor Placido Domingo. It's being hosted at the NCPA in September, and will be the stage to discover the next big opera star. This is the first time Operalia is being hosted in a South Asian country. Darwin is the only Indian origin participant. We'll be cheering for you, my friend. We're extremely proud of you. My last question has got to be, are you keeping a keen eye on the contestants at least? Checking out some videos of them, or do you know a few of them?
I worked with one of them. There's a really dear friend of mine, Eliza Boom. She is from New Zealand and she's a soprano, and I worked with her in Nixon in China, so I was really happy to see her name on the list. And I know a few others, but really, I mean, I try not to look at the names. I just think about myself, my music, my performance, go do the job, and then when I'm away, I meet my family and have a lovely time with them. Because I'll have my family in Mumbai, so it'll be nice to meet them. But yeah, I try not to indulge on other people's performance because it can just get to you a little bit.
Great. We will see you in person in September. Thank you very much for talking to us.
Fantastic.
Bye there, Darwin.
Thank you, Rishikesh. Bye-bye.
94.3 Radio 1.